this guy, I wonder, even the use of a pronoun. I mean, it doesn't seem, but I suppose, I guess you have to go back to the definition of a person.
Yeah, you're concerned with what, the term God being used?
No, well, the pronoun,
He? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Does he mean that God is actually a conscious and self-consciousness? I think so. But then on the other hand, you have a shred of doubt. Could he be using it in terms of a degree of influence coming from something? God. You say that he speaks of that way because that's the way he speaks of everything. The paradigm being consciousness. No, I think he means it's consciousness. And he certainly seems to talk that way in some evening conversations with him that were recorded and transcribed after his death. Certainly seems to talk that way. Yeah. Let me make this point, I think. This may help to clear it up. That for Whitehead, in contrast to, say, Thomas Aquinas, in Thomas Aquinas, God is the efficient cause of creation, the formal cause of creation, the final cause of creation. Right? There's no material cause because creation is ex nihilo. Now, it seems to me that in Whitehead, God is the formal and the final cause, but not the efficient cause. God is the formal cause in the sense that his primordial nature conceives of all logical possibilities and logical order. Okay? He is the final cause by virtue of the superjective nature by which he lures events. And that's his term, lure. Now, I'm no fisherman, but I know what a lure is. It doesn't kick the fish in its tail. What it does is to attract the fish. A lure is a final cause, not an efficient cause. So it's the winning way of a lure that's significant, and the winning way of an ideal that's significant in a final causation. So God's relationship to the world for Whitehead is that of a formal cause and a final cause, but not an efficient cause, which means God does not act. If by act you mean what is meant in biblical history, the mighty acts of God in the history of Israel, you see, the mighty act of God in the incarnation or in the second coming as you raise it, you see. No, God does not act. And I think the underlying nature of his metaphysic precludes God from acting. In fact, I did an article on Whitehead a few years ago that I called Why God Cannot Act. Why God Cannot Act. You see. It's in a book called Process Theology, edited by Ronald Nash, that's in the library. And it seems to me that the reason God cannot act is that Whitehead's God is essentially a Hegelian God. It's a God of, say, Schleiermacher, who is more a ground of being than a personal agent. You see. And so these agency categories of acting don't apply. Just the ground of being you rely on, the ultimate ground that influences nature indirectly. And so just as in the liberal theology of the 19th century, you have no special revelation, it's all immanent from within. You see. You have no supernatural act, it's all natural process by virtue of the divine creativity within. It's the same in Whitehead. So if you're familiar with the history of 19th century theology and the Schleiermachian tradition, the Romanticist tradition, well, that's Whitehead. And as I said, Whitehead seems to have read Wordsworth as if it were the Bible. You remember that line from last time? Okay, so I think this is a romanticized version of 19th century theology that comes out in a 20th century process metaphysics.
Can you just take the principle of creativity, which is the essence of reality, and give that to God, and rather than see God?
Yeah. And there are some process theologians who try to do that. Some try to do that. And I think I'm right in saying that Charles Hartshorne is one, who is perhaps the best-known process thinker. He was not himself influenced by Whitehead, but developed sort of parallel to him. He taught at Harvard for a number of years, then at Chicago, then in his retirement at Texas, Hartshorne did. Very much the panentheist, and he could be a panentheist if creativity is God. You see. Influenced a lot of people. Perhaps today, the best-known process theologian is John Cobb, who I think I'm right in saying is at Claremont School of Theology in California. John Cobb. But lots of them around. We don't have time to talk about them now. Okay, next time, what I'd like to do, and this is a pattern we'll follow on these books you're reading, what I'd like to do is some commentary on his book, Science in the Modern World. So I urge you to give it a reading. Maybe not enough of a reading to do the review, but give it a reading and we'll do some commentary on it and we can discuss things that you want to talk about then.